Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of the podcast. Something a little different from what you're probably accustomed to. We're trying something new today. We're doing an instant reaction to the games. The UP Fighting Maroons just defeated the Adamson Soaring Falcons in UAAP action. UP used that victory to improve their record to 8-1. They are second in the league standings behind league leader De La Salle University. That's currently 10-1. And if you're wondering why La Salle has played 11 games already, while UP has only played 9 games, it's because the recent cancellations due to the typhoon. Sorry for that noise. Due to the typhoon, sorry for the noise again. Due to the typhoon has forced a change in schedule, which has led to LaSalle playing more games. So, anyway, let's talk about the game a little bit. The final score 70-59. The UP Maroons ended up winning by 11, but this game was actually closer than the final score would indicate. Adamson was up in the first half, and even after UP went on one of their runs late in the second quarter and in the third period, Adamson was able to stay within striking distance and even cut the lead to 58-57 at one point late in the fourth period until Mark Belmonte scored an N1 with UP properly attacking Adamson's zone defense to get the separation they needed to secure the victory. So let's look at some statistics that stood out. First, for UP, 44.6% shooting from the field, very effective. Only 6 out of 28 from three-point range. This surprises me because 28 out of UP's 56 field goal attempts came from three-point territory, which of course is surprising because has been UP has been adamant about attacking the paint so far this season. And that zone defense of Adamson kind of forced UP to be more of a perimeter oriented team until guys like Yanni Stevens and then later on Mark Belmonte were able to attack the zone defense and score some critical baskets for the Fighting Maroons. Free throw shooting, 20 attempts for UP, 70%. Rebounding, they lost 30 to 42, but a big reason why their rebounding isn't as high is because Adamson was forced to 28 turnovers by the Fighting Maroons, 8 more turnovers in UP's 20. And from those 28 turnovers by Adamson, though, UP only scored 19 points off turnovers. So, not effective. Adamson did a good job getting back, even when they coughed up the basketball. Still, UP was able to secure the victory down the stretch of the game. All right. Some other statistics that stood out. JD Cagulangan, another effective game, 7 out of 11 from the field, 17 points, including 3 of 7 from downtown. He did have 5 turnovers, only 1 assist, but you could see the mastery in JD's game. There was a sequence there in the second period where he was pushing the ball in transition, was able to do a wraparound pass, get it to Kingsley Ududu, who made the layup, and then a few possessions later, nearly the same sequence. Cagulangan gets the ball, cocks it back, puts it back up after the defender flies by him, scores a layup. His floor mastery right now is probably the best out of all guards in the UAAP. I don't know if you count Kevin Kimball as a guard. He's more of a forward to me. Plays like a guard, but we're talking about guards. JD has been the best option so far in the whole UAAP. His jump shot is pure. It's the kind of jump shot he was showing back in season 84. It looks like it's back to being consistent, how it was back in the day. And he's patient. You can see that he's thinking the game, analyzing the floor, reading the offense differently compared to everyone else. His IQ is high. We know he's seasoned. We know he has the experience. And it's nice to see him portray that on the basketball court. He's become a complete basketball player, a pro caliber basketball player, playing a college game. And you can see he's using his wits and experience to his advantage when going up against opponents. And UP is a different team when he's on the court. I know it only says he was a +3 today, while Fertea was a +22, but JD's mastery of the floor, knowing when to push the pace, knowing when to slow it down, knowing when to get it to a teammate, knowing how to attack the defense depending on what they're doing. He has this move he loves to do where it looks like he's going to go left, and he suddenly shakes right. The consistency with how much he's doing that this season shows to me that he is healthy. And we know he hasn't been exactly healthy the last few seasons. In fact, he's had a few injury concerns this season too. He missed the De La Salle game because of injury, because of a thigh issue. But he seems healthy. He seems like he's recovering. And I think that UP needs a healthy JD to go as far as they want to. Next point I wrote down here in my notes during the game, Adamson's zone was actually working effectively. And I think you're going to see more teams try that zone defense against University of the Philippines. It's a mat game to some degree. Teams know UP likes to attack the paint, that they like to do their damage near the rim. And a zone defense is one way to neutralize that and force a team to be more of a jump shooting team. And while UP is actually one of the most efficient 3 point shooting teams according to the statistics this season, part of the reason why is because they're a low volume shooting 3 point team. So I think teams are going to be willing to risk losing to UP via jump shots because of how good they are when it comes to attacking the paint. Unfortunately for Adamson, their shot making just wasn't there. They live and die by jump shots. For this game, they shot a paltry 19 out of 57 from the field, including 7 of 23 from downtown. Again, they turned the ball over 28 times, and they were effective from the free throw line, though, 14 out of 17. So you have to give him props for that. Matthew Montebon, 14 points. AJ Franzman, 13 points. But Adamson lives and die by their outside shots. The fact that this was a one possession game with a few minutes left in the fourth quarter is a credit to how well their defensive game plan was. Unfortunately, their offense could not keep up for them to complete the upset. This close game for UP, I think long term is going to be good for the team. Now, over the last few years, we've seen UP dominate opponents. We've seen UP win a lot of blowouts, a lot of one sided affairs. And I think to some degree that has hindered them when we get to the finals or the finals. We know the goal for UP is to win a championship. That's what they're aiming for. They made the finals the last 3 years. There's a good chance they make the finals a fourth straight year this season. And playing in close games like they did today against Adamson, again, it was closer than the final score indicates. But playing in a close game setup like that will train them, I think, for closer battles down the stretch of this season, particularly when you go up against a team like LaSalle or UST or maybe Ateneo if they find a way to crack the Final Four, probably UE, right? So good reps for UP in terms of late game execution. Let's see anything else here with UP. If you want to find a way to beat them, the best way to neutralize them is to keep them out of fast break opportunities. That means limiting your turnovers. Adamson didn't do that, but Adamson did a good job limiting the points off turnovers and making UP more of a half court executing team. I think that's one way you could neutralize UP, because if you let UP get out on the break, let them get in transition, you are asking for danger. You are. One more point about Francis Lopez. I'm starting to notice opposing defensive game plans where instead of loading up in the paint, waiting for him to attack, you see the defense starting to load up more in the nail or in the free throw line, trying to stop his dribble, picking him up higher in transition. And so far, because of all the traveling violations the UAP refs seem to be calling nonstop these days, it's neutralizing him to some degree. So today, Francis finished with, let's look at the stats here real quick, 2 points only in 17 minutes. You're starting to see him take less of a responsibility when it comes to playmaking and handling the basketball. But I think that's what's best for UP. The more the ball is in the hands of JD Cagulangan, the better, because I think he's the best decision maker on the team. Adamson, they are now, if I'm not mistaken, let's look at their standing real quick. They were 3-2 early in the season, and now they are 3-7, if I'm not mistaken, or 3-6. They are on a losing spree, and a lot of their losses lately have been close encounters. This was an area they were supposed to excel in because of the experience, the fact the team has been together for a while, and because of Coach Nash. But again, the shot making just doesn't seem to be there for them in late game situations. And they're five straight losses. Thanks, Fran. And they're starting to see the final four kind of slip away. Early on, it looked like they might be the third team in the league standings, and now they're fighting for their final four lives. They've lost to. The good news for them is they've played both LaSalle and UP in the second round already, kind of like UST, but that means their margin of error still is slimmer now. So let's see how they do the rest of the way. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me in this instant reaction video/episode. Really appreciate it. We're gonna do something similar as well for the next game, UST and FEU. So stay tuned for that here on Playback on YouTube and Facebook. And after the PBA Finals Game 1-2, I will have Simon Redoblado, one of our all-star writers, joining me to tackle everything that happened this weekend, from KQ's dominance against Ateneo, Jared Lahey's performance, UE staying on the winning track, UP winning this game, and the FEUC game, and of course TNT versus Ginebra. So I'll check you guys out later. Shout out to the community, JP, Enzo, Tonyo, Karib. Appreciate all of you guys. Catch you all in a few hours. Thanks, everybody.